All right, so we've got breaking news via the president. I'm Harris Faulkner. President Trump's Capitol Hill meeting, bipartisan. The president says he has a deal with Congress. All right, so Harvey aid, the debt ceiling, and the continuing resolution to fund the government. I'm going to talk with some members of Congress, specifically conservatives, about how they feel about the deal that the president struck. Democrats say they're very happy. And Hurricane Irma taking aim right now at Florida, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands as that huge monster out in the Atlantic Ocean wreaks havoc in the Caribbean before making its way to Florida. We'll have more on America's News Headquarters. Stay tuned, top of the hour.
Let's get back to our discussion on tax reform and other issues bedeviling Washington right now. Back with us, Congressman Kevin Brady. He is chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, part of the Big Six, who met with President Trump to iron out some details yesterday. You just heard from the president that announcement that he says there's a bipartisan deal to raise the debt ceiling. Can we say the same thing about tax reform, Congressman?
Well, I hope so. I think really some key elements you asked about. So what broke the logjam? I think, one, the clock is ticking. There's an urgency here, both to get help to the Harvey victims and, two, to make sure America pays its debts on time. I also think, John, that it's helpful to have people in the same room, these leaders with the president, talking this through, because at the end of the day, neither of these issues are Republican or Democrat issues. And so I think, to his credit, sitting down, working through it, I think that's all helpful.
You tell people that you want to reform the tax system, and sometimes their eyes glaze over. You tell them that you want to improve jobs and the economy, and all of a sudden they start paying attention.
They do. Well, I think America's hungry. What we got now, it's a horrible tax code. It's dragged America back to, I think, 31st in the world in competitiveness. And so being able to, and I'm hopeful Democrats will join us, lower tax rates on every business, at home, small or large, help people keep more of the money they earn, and create an economy that their paychecks grow again. And it's been a long time since many of our families have seen this. Look, I think the time is right. We get one shot about every 30 years to do this. And so the president, Republican Senate leaders from the Republican Party, we're all in on delivering it this year.
But detractors, I guess you could say chiefly from the Democratic side, have said this is a giveaway to the rich. How do you respond?
Well, I'll tell you what, we know what's not working, the current tax code. There is income inequality. It's grown under this monstrous mess of a tax code. So if you simplify the code, knock out all those special provisions and loopholes for some, so we can lower the rates for every business and every family, boy, then you've got growth and fairness in a big way.
Congressman Kevin Brady, the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, very involved in setting economic policy in this country. It's good to have you on, spending some time with us today. Thank you.
Well, we have live team coverage of Hurricane Irma as the powerful storm heads for Puerto Rico on a track that could make a direct hit on South Florida. The destruction Irma is leaving in its wake and how people are preparing as the storm approaches.
Some things are simply impossible to ignore. The strikingly designed Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. The SUV that dares to go beyond utility. Experience amazing. The joy of real cream in 15 calories per serving. Enough said. Reddi-wip. Share the joy.
My Dell Small Business Advisor has gotten to know our business so well that it feels like he's a part of our team. With one phone call, he sets me up with tailored products and services. And when my advisor is focused on my tech, I can focus on my small business.
A Dell Advisor can help you choose the right products with powerful Intel Core processors.
If you're the spouse of a military veteran, I want you to know something. Your spouse has earned the right to apply for a VA home loan. A VA home loan is unique. It's different than other loans because it allows you to borrow up to 100% of the home's value. That extra borrowing power may allow you to pay down debt, lower your monthly payments, put cash in the bank, and give you the peace of mind that every veteran deserves.
Go to newdayusa.com or call 1-855-676-4735.
It's a new day for veterans who want to lower their monthly payment.
That's me.
The New Day 100 VA loan lets you refinance your mortgages, consolidate your credit card debt, get cash, and lower your payments an average of $640 a month. New Day will even pay for your appraisal.
That's me.
As a vet, you've earned the right to apply for a home loan that's VA guaranteed. For veterans who want to refinance, that can mean a lot.
That's me.
Call New Day USA now, 1-855-676-4735.
It's the flooring sale you've been waiting for. Empire Today's half-price sale. Get $2,400 of flooring for $1,200, $5,200 for an amazing $2,600. That's half the price of your entire purchase. Shop for carpet, hardwood, tile, vinyl, and laminate right from home and have it professionally installed. Don't miss Empire's half-price sale. Schedule now.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Taking the Ancestry DNA test is really quite simple. It comes in the mail. You pull out the tube and you spit in it, which is something Southern girls are taught you're not supposed to do. You seal it and you send it back, and then you wait for your results. It's that simple.
Get a free mesothelioma book from mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. That's why we offer this free book.
Call toll-free at 1-800-745-BOOK.
So pretty wild, if you ask me. Peace is breaking out all over in Washington. The president says they've got a deal to raise the debt ceiling, fund Hurricane Harvey relief. Wow.
Yeah, bipartisan support.
Kumbaya moment.
I know, yeah. Peace breaking out all over.
Yeah. We'll stay on it for you.
Thank you very much for joining us.
America's News Headquarters starts right now.
Bye.
Boy, I tell you, this thing is moving fast. A Fox News alert on Hurricane Irma, the most powerful storm ever recorded in the Atlantic, now approaching Puerto Rico. South Carolina has just joined Florida in declaring a state of emergency ahead of the Category 5 storm. I'm Harris Faulkner. As Irma roars through the Caribbean right now, people in the Bahamas are being flown to Nassau for what is being called the largest hurricane evacuation in Bahamas history. Florida's Key West already evacuated. Officials from Miami up to the North Carolina area and South Carolina, I'll just say the Carolinas, keeping a wary eye on the storm.
The hurricane coming our way, Hurricane Irma, is one of the most powerful storms in the history of the Atlantic Basin. It's more powerful than Harvey, potentially more powerful than Andrew.
We have Fox News team coverage tracking this powerful storm with Phil Keating at the southern tip of Florida, plus a live report from Puerto Rico this hour. First, though, let's go to Chief Meteorologist Rick Reichmuth. And I'd say deja vu all over again because of Harvey, but this is different.
All storms are different. This is definitely a different storm. We knew exactly where that storm was going. We knew it was going to stall out, and it became this big rain event, obviously, across parts of Texas and Louisiana. This is a very different kind of storm, very strong. The winds are still at 185 miles an hour. That's a Cat 5 storm. We don't see that very often across the Atlantic. It's cutting right now through the British Virgin Islands. In fact, you can see the center of this, the eye right now, is right over that. So if you're at that tip there, you're looking up and seeing probably blue sky, and then you have this other side of it that's going to come through. The one thing about this storm is it's really small where its sustained strong winds are, Harris. So sometimes you have storms that are really large. The hurricane force winds only extend out 50 miles from the center. So it's really at that eye wall. If that eye wall misses Puerto Rico here, we're going to be kind of spared the worst of those winds. Certainly we'll have 70-mile-an-hour winds. We'll see some rain that's going to cause problems. But really, this is going to cut right through Turks and Caicos, right through the Bahamas, and cause devastating impacts there with a Cat 4, Cat 5 storm. But after that, that's where we have a lot of questions still. Sometimes we have a very good idea where these things are going. This one, we know it is going to make a hard right turn. We don't know when that is going to happen. And a 30-mile difference one way or another before that right turn could be the difference between not huge impacts across parts of Florida or a direct hit in Florida. We can't say. If it goes a little bit to the east of that, then we're talking a Georgia, South Carolina storm. And I'm not hearing a lot of people talk about those states this morning. Everybody's saying Florida, Florida. Georgia, South Carolina, watch this as well.
Well, and the Carolinas, their leadership now are putting forth those declarations of state of emergency, and they're doing what they need to do. So that conversation is starting to turn. To turn. I would want to just ask about how much time this beast is spinning out over the water. I mean, I don't want to glaze over. St. Bart's got hit pretty hard. I mean, the pictures from there are heartbreaking. It's fairly flat. and they took a Cat 5, correct?
Yes, a number of those islands, the Lesser Antilles, the Virgin Islands now taking a Cat 5 hurricane. That's going to cause incredible damage for them. You know, had it gone a little bit farther towards the south, then it has a lot more interaction with land, with Puerto Rico, with Hispaniola,
it looks like it's
Cuba.
Picking up water.
Probably staying over water. In these islands here, Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas, those aren't islands that break apart storms at all. So it would keep it over water longer, maybe allowing it to maintain a stronger core to it as well.
Yeah, and the reason I say is because as you get closer to Miami, you still have a 4 there, depending on which way this turns.
Yeah, I'm not saying Florida don't watch this. Absolutely. Everything they're telling you in Florida, pay attention to that. I'm just saying also Georgia, South Carolina,
also
be watching.
It's the also.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll come back as the news warrants on that. Let's bring in our correspondent on the ground in Florida, Phil Keating. You're in the Miami-Dade area. Governor Rick Scott declared a state of emergency, held a news conference flanked by the Senators Nelson and Rubio. And I got to tell you, Phil, the tone was dire.
Yep. Well, the governor made it seem very, very serious, and it is very, very serious. He ended his briefing by basically comparing this monster Hurricane Irma with the notorious 25 years ago devastating Hurricane Andrew, which racked Homestead and leveled it, saying this one's bigger, it's fiercer, the winds are stronger, and it's probably going to go down as the most expensive natural disaster in U.S. history. Two key things that all of these people that live down here need, and a lot of these people are driving home or trying to stop by stores to get supplies. They're, number one, looking for gasoline, but everywhere we go, finding a gas station with fuel in the pumps has been very difficult to do. No regular, no plus. This gas station's been closed for a few hours. No action here, and that sent people driving 20, 25 miles just to get some gasoline today. And it's a hot, humid day, and at the couple of stations that did have fuel, with about lines of 50 cars that waited up to an hour, tempers were flaring. People are getting aggravated. They're anxious. They're starting to get a little close to panicky. They're definitely nervous. And we talked with somebody, a Florida resident, right in front of a gas station where the Florida Keys were evacuating behind him, and he said he's starting to worry. Take a listen.
It's been very frustrating. I mean, it's chaos out there. I mean, yesterday, trying to get water, trying to get some supplies. I mean, everywhere you went, it's just everybody's like in a state of madness, you know. So it's kind of frustrating out there.
Are you panicked?
I wasn't originally, but right now a little bit. I was actually flying out to Texas yesterday to go out and help in Houston, and at the last minute I got called back, said, no, we need you here. And I mean, we live here, I've been here for Andrew, so we kind of, you know, seen this before. So I mean, it's just, we don't want this thing coming this way. That's for sure, you know.
Scared?
Yeah, I am.
All Florida Keys residents must evacuate all of the island chains from Key West up to Key Largo by 7 p.m. tonight. Broward County east of US 1, mandatory evacuation in place. And at 4 o'clock today, Miami-Dade County city and county leaders will have an emergency operations briefing, and they may institute some mandatory evacuations for the beach communities then. We'll see.
All right. Everybody just has to stay alert and get ready to move if they have to. Phil Keating, thank you very much. So the hallmark of this Cat 5 are those 185-mile-per-hour winds, as we saw from the maps with Rick. The video tells the story, too. This is Puerto Rico, and again, it hasn't gotten there yet. People are being told Irma could knock out electricity in some places for months. Joining us now on the phone is GRN reporter Anika Kentish. And Anika, I know you're on the island of Antigua. You guys got hit already. What's it like?
Well, I think a lot of us are still stunned because in as bad as the hurricane was, we fared fairly well over here in Antigua. In Barbuda, however, it's a different case. And there's a lot of uncertainty as to what happens in Barbuda. Barbuda is 62 square miles, about 1,500 people. There's one shelter there. And the problem is that the hurricane has cut off all communication, radio, cell phone, landline. So we do not know since last night what the damage is right now in Barbuda, and there's a plane on standby as soon as the weather clears up to go over there to find out what's going on and to take over some needed supplies.
Yeah, you know, with Barbuda as well, I was reading reports that as far out as 48 hours in that region, they were able to see this on seismometers, almost like an earthquake type situation in terms of just the sheer magnitude, the power of this storm. Anika, where you are, I know cleanup will start, but what was the initial reaction? I mean, do you have a lot of water flooding on the island? What does it look like?
Well, it's a funny story because normally, and we're accustomed to hurricanes and tropical storms, but the funny thing about this storm, first of all, the good thing is that we had a heads up. We were able to watch this thing for almost a week, so people knew it was coming. And people from grocery stores to department stores, hardware stores, gas stations saw a steady increase in traffic in the last 5 days. Now, that said, when the storm arrived, the surprising thing is that there was a lot of wind, but not really a lot of rain, which is something that we actually expected. We always expect a lot of rain. When the storm cleared up this morning, at least the winds cleared up, that's when the rain came. So we actually thought everything was over and done with, and people were anxious for the all clear to come out when it started raining cats and dogs, and before you know it, we were on a flash flood warning.
Yeah, and that's some of what happened, obviously, to a greater magnitude in Houston, Texas. I would imagine, though, with everybody in the Caribbean seeing what we've gone through on the mainland of the U.S., it also heightens that spirit within you to, okay, we're going to heed the warnings. Anika, I'm glad you are safe.
I believe that that's the case. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, from the island of Antigua, we'll move on. Fox News Alert Now, President Trump and Democratic leaders saying they have just reached a deal, a 3-month deal on the debt ceiling and spending, along with aid, a second chunk of it, for Harvey.
We had a very good meeting with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. We agreed to a 3-month extension on debt ceiling, which they consider to be sacred, very important. Always will agree on debt ceiling automatically because of the importance of it. Also on the CRs and also on Harvey, which now we're going to be adding something because of what's going on in Florida.
Early reports say many Republicans, particularly the more conservative among them, are not on board with this plan. Meanwhile, new reaction from House Speaker Paul Ryan on the president's action on DACA.
We will not be advancing legislation that does not have the support of President Trump, because we're going to work with the president on how to do this legislation. And if we have legislation coming through here that is worked with and supported by the president, I'm very confident that our members will support that.
Illinois Congressman Adam Kinzinger is a Republican on the Foreign Affairs Committee. Representative Kinzinger, always good to see you. I'm looking at somewhat of a victory lap note from Senators Pelosi, or Representative Pelosi and Senator Schumer, two Democrats. They issued a short time ago a joint statement on the meeting with President Trump, and they are glowing. They got what they wanted. How do Republicans that you've talked with feel about this?
We don't know the details yet. We've spent the last hour to an hour and a half in a briefing on North Korea and Afghanistan. So in terms of this meeting, this is some of the first information I'm hearing. I know that right now, look, we're backed up against the wall when it comes to Harvey funding. FEMA accounts run dry potentially on Friday right now, which means people wouldn't be able to get their money. You run up against government shutdown and debt limit. So I think a 3-month extension, I don't know the details again, so I want to see it, but a 3-month extension gives us the Harvey money we need and a little bit of breathing room to finish up our appropriations process, which we're starting this week. There's a number of bills left we have to do. We're going to send them over to the Senate. We'll see what they do. Hopefully they can get a number of them done and be able to reconvene. It's not uncommon, honestly, and it's frustrating for me out here, but it's not uncommon to come up to a deadline of government shutdown and usually kick it till December when you get the final package done.
I don't know how common it is for the Republican president to meet with Democratic leaders and then make a deal without any of you in the room. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Well, again, it depends on what that is. I haven't seen the details of it yet. If it's just simply an extension, it's basically what I expected to probably happen anyway. The reality is, though, you have a Senate that they still have a rule that you need 60 votes to advance anything. And we only have, 50-some senators there, 52. And so you have to get Democratic buy-in. I wish on some of these, like appropriations bills, the Senate would relook at how they do a filibuster, maybe make people actually go to the floor and filibuster the whole time instead of phoning it in. That would put us better leverage. But, I'm not going to tell the Senate how to do their job because they're the senators and we're over in the House.
Well, in that sense, President Trump just did you guys a great favor because he reached across the aisle and got you some of those votes. As you said, 52 doesn't always get it done on your side. Let's move ahead quickly, if we can, and talk about some other news. With regard to tax reform, a lot of people are hanging to see if that's actually going to happen. Maybe this movement on the Harvey legislation, which had some other things tacked to it, maybe this actually can get you guys out of a logjam.
I think that's actually really possible. When we were coming out here, it looked like September was going to be filled with these deadline things. If we can get these done early, the Speaker has made it clear, I think the President has made it clear, that we move forward on tax reform now. It doesn't mean we get it done now, but it means
including Jose, whom she spent a magical night with 5 years ago in Guadalajara.
I like.
So it better be a kick-ass ring. Design your own at jamesallen.com.
jamesallen.com.
Penetrating formula gets down deep into those joints for big-time pain relief. Blue Emu, it works fast and you won't stink.
Binders, done. Super cool notebooks, done.
That's Mom taking care of business. And with the 25-cent event, Office Depot Office Max takes care of Mom. Now, all this, just 25 cents each.
Taking care of business.
You did it. You were disciplined, you saved your money, and you have a retirement nest egg. But what do you do now? It doesn't have to be complicated. The smart investor has their money protected against market losses. Up with the market and never down. Forwards with their money and never backwards. And it's simple. Sound attractive? Get your investor's kit and I'll explain on the DVD exactly how it works and you decide if it's right for you.
Get your investor's kit. Call 800-557-7379 or tyjyoung.net.
Are you thinking of buying a stair lift? This essential free guide will answer all your questions. You can find out how a stair lift can improve your life in a few easy steps with this free guide packed full of detailed information. All of your questions answered. What should I think about when buying a stair lift? What type of stair lift will suit my home? What difference can a stair lift make in my life? Answers to these and many more with this free guide to buying a stair lift. A stair lift can be crucial to you staying independent in your own home. They were invented to make your life easier. And this free practical guide, produced with the help of Acorn Stair Lifts, will make it easier for you to choose the one that's right for you. So call now, 1-800-716-8612 for your free copy of your guide to buying a stair lift and have all of your stair lift questions answered today. 1-800-716-8612.
It's back to school time, so make time for you.
Stay tuned for a special limited time TV offer from Nutrisystem.
I'm Melissa Joan Hart, and I lost 40 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Be one of the first 500 callers and save $80 right now.
I'm Marie, and I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Lose weight fast with Nutrisystem's Lean 13. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall in your first month. Lose weight fast, money back guaranteed.
I have so much more energy.
Order your 4-week plan right now and we'll rush you Lean 13. Get specially selected meals, plus 1 week of Nutri-Crush bars to crush cravings free, and 1 week of Turbo Shakes to bust belly bloat free. Don't forget, be one of the first 500 callers and save $80 right now on Uniquely Yours, our most popular plan with over 150 foods.
This is your moment. Don't wait. Start looking and feeling great today.
Call 888-760-THIN right now and get Lean 13 with shakes and bars free and save $80.
Fox News Channel on Sirius XM. Your favorite shows on Channel 114. Plus, every story, every 15 minutes. Fox News headlines 24/7, Channel 115.
All right, so some breaking news right now as the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell talks about that deal that was just made with the president on the debt ceiling with Democrats. Watch.
And we'll be ready to deal with that next.
I want to commend the House of Representatives for swiftly passing the emergency supplemental for relief for the victims of Hurricane Harvey this morning. This is, it's very clear, just a down payment on what is one of the most catastrophic storms in American history, with some 40,000 people out of their homes, 1 million cars destroyed. The size and scope of this disaster is still being calculated. But this will be just the beginning of our efforts to make sure that the people I represent in the state of Texas are taken care of, as the president has committed and as all of us are working to accomplish. There will also be, as part of the continuing resolution, additional funds that the budget director has talked about to make sure FEMA is adequately funded, especially with Hurricane Irma bearing down on the East Coast. Secondly, on the President's decision on the deferred action matter, this
Alrighty, so we are listening in for any details about the discussions that may have happened with Republicans after the president met with Democratic leaders today and reached deals on the debt ceiling and a continuing resolution to fund the government, so on and so forth. Additionally, with that second chunk of money for Harvey aid. Interesting now to hear the leadership from Republicans come out and talk about that. So as that continues to drip some headlines, we'll bring them your way. We're watching right now John Cornyn, who is the assistant majority leader. We saw first, very briefly, we caught it just coming out of a commercial, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. So as more news is made on this, we'll bring it to you. But this is a huge happening right now. The president doing what he said he would do as the deal maker has reached across the aisle today to Democrats and made some deals in the White House. We'll continue to cover it at this hour. There's this that's also happening. Legal fallout now from the president's decision to rescind the Obama-era program that shielded hundreds of thousands of so-called dreamers, little children, from deportation. At the time they were children, many are grown up. Immigration rights lawyers are calling the move abrupt, unjustified, and unconstitutional. This is some of the biggest technology companies in the United States are weighing in. Look at this. Microsoft is promising legal support for any employee facing deportation. Facebook and Apple with statements criticizing the decision to end the program. Joining me now is attorney Jonas Bilbor, and I know you have been looking at this very closely. Yes. And what pops that sticks? I mean, when you see companies like that coming out, what pops?
You know what pops? What pops is it's a little bit of puffery, because you have to keep something in mind. These companies don't have standing to fight about somebody else's immigration status. So they don't have rights per se to go to court and battle it out with the government. What they can do is offer some side support. Can they pay for their employees' legal fees if something were to happen and they were going to get deported? Of course they can. Can they file amicus briefs as friends of the court to offer influence? Of course they can. But they would never be a party to any individual immigration action.
How litigious is this going to get?
Well, how many dreamers do we have, right? Because either this is going to be one gigantic class action, or people are going to be filing lawsuits wherever they happen to be located.
Who pays for all of that outside of these private companies? I mean, if somebody is coming up against the government to be deported, is there any portion that we as taxpayers are on the hook for?
Sure. If they're appointed legal representation, we're all paying for that. Of course we are. But now I think we're kind of putting the cart before the horse a little bit, Harris, because maybe Congress will do the right thing. Maybe none of the status is going to change if they come up and enact a law in the next 6 months. So it's a little premature to be worried about it right now.
Real quickly, before I let you go, Brad Smith, who is the president of Microsoft, said that if you kill DACA, you'll have to go through us, technically. Those were his words. It's a wider statement. We'll pop that up on the screen. If Congress fails to act, our company will exercise its legal rights. But you've just said, question, what are those legal rights?
Right. They really don't have legal rights. They can really just offer support.
All right. Good to have you here to break that part of it down.
Always good to be here.
Thanks. Well, tempers flaring early on as the corruption trial of New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez gets underway. We are live at the courthouse, and we'll tell you who told whom to shut up inside the courtroom. Yeah, it got like that.
I have committed my...
Here is something big banks don't want you to know about your IRA or 401k. Store your retirement at home. With the Augusta Home Delivery Gold IRA, you can transfer your current IRA or 401k into approved physical gold and silver coins. No management fees, no depository fees, and you have direct physical control over your IRA, because your IRA gold and silver coins will be delivered to your door with free shipping and free insurance. You can store approved coins in your safe at home or in a safety deposit box at your local bank. Augusta Precious Metals is the leader in home delivery gold IRAs. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, AA from the BCA, gold and silver have been the family business for over 40 years. Call 800-345-4IRA for our free guide to Augusta Home Delivery Gold IRAs and discover how you can get up to $2,000 in silver free. If you can't hold it, do you really own it?
Let's dance, Grandma.
You don't let anything keep you sidelined.
Come on.
That's why you drink Ensure with 9 grams of protein and 26 vitamins and minerals. for the strength and energy to get back to doing what you love. And sure, always be you.
Pick a car. Just want to find a used car without getting ripped off.
Just start at Carfax.
Show me the Carfax.
Get the most accurate price based on a car's history. Just look at all the great deals.
Thanks, buddy.
Boom. Start your used car search at the all-new Carfax.com.
Endless Shrimp is back at Red Lobster, and we went all out to bring you even more incredible shrimp and new flavors. Like new Nashville hot shrimp drizzled with sweet amber honey, and new grilled Mediterranean shrimp finished with a savory blend of green onions, tomatoes, and herbs. Feeling hungry yet? Good, because there's plenty more where these came from, like garlic shrimp scampi and other classics you love. As much as you want, however you want them. But hurry, Endless Shrimp won't be here long.
You have a choice to make. You can keep your word, start doing your job, and keeping promises, or keep making excuses.
Sean pulls no punches tonight.
Approaching Medicare eligibility? Don't put off checking out your Medicare options until 65. Now is a good time to get the ball rolling. Medicare only covers about 80% of Part B medical costs. The rest is up to you. That's where AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plans, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, come in. Like all standardized Medicare Supplement Insurance plans, they could help save you in out-of-pocket medical costs. Taking informed steps really makes a difference later. That's what it means to go long. Call now and request this free decision guide and explore the range of AARP Medicare supplement plans. All plans like these let you choose any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients. These are the only Medicare supplement insurance plans endorsed by AARP. Call now and request your free decision guide and start gathering the information you need to help you go long.
Politician in the courtroom, and there was drama today, even before the fraud and bribery trial of Senator Bob Menendez actually started. The judge told one of the lawyers for the New Jersey lawmaker to, quote, shut up. David Lee Miller is live outside the U.S. federal court in Newark. David Lee?
Harris, definitely not a good way for the proceedings to begin for the defense, with the judge telling one of Senator Menendez's attorneys, quote, shut up for a moment, if you don't mind. Now, for the context of this exchange, the judge had refused to alter the trial schedule of Senator Menendez so he could attend key votes at the U.S. Senate on such crucial issues as health care. Menendez's lawyer accused the judge of disparaging the defense in his written opinion. As for Menendez, speaking to reporters outside the courthouse, he said he planned on exercising what he termed his constitutional right to attend the trial every day, but he acknowledged the conflict he faces to fulfill his obligations as a U.S. Senator when a single vote could make the difference.
When the conflict exists, if it becomes a conflict, a clash between those constitutional rights, I will make a decision based upon the gravity of the situation and the difference that my vote could make.
Menendez, a Democrat from New Jersey, faces a dozen criminal charges related to bribery. He's accused of accepting more than $700,000 in campaign-related cash and thousands of dollars in free hotel rooms and air travel from a longtime friend, Dr. Solomon Melgen. The prosecution says Menendez, in return, helped the doctor with multi-million-dollar business deals and even tried to help the doctor obtain visas for girlfriends coming from overseas, such countries as Brazil, the Ukraine, and the Dominican Republic. Menendez has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing, and outside the courthouse today, he says, not once have I dishonored my public office. At times, Harris, he appeared to be on the verge of tears as he thanked his supporters. The prosecution maintains that the two men were taking part in bribery.
And to talk about how big this case is, we haven't seen a sitting member of the Congress go through something like this in more than 40 years. David Lee Miller, thank you very much. President Trump is flying to North Dakota right now. He's expected to pitch tax reform. Can he sell it? Ari Fleischer will be here on set with me to talk about it. Hurricane Irma taking aim at Florida after making landfall in the Caribbean. Our next guest, a high school student in the U.S. Virgin Islands, where the storm is hitting right now. And people were prepping for days.
And
Just to get prepared for the storm, I making sure that I have a full tank of gas. That's the first thing. And then making sure that my house is all in order. Family and friends, everybody is together, and everything is good.
I would like to take a moment to address my fellow veterans, because I know there are so many of you who have served your country honorably, whether it's 2 years, 4 years, or 32 years like myself. One of the benefits that we as a country give you as a veteran is your eligibility for a VA loan. Not 80%, but 100% the value of your home, and that's what you can get at New Day USA.
Go to newdayusa.com or call 1-855-764-0610.
It's a new day for veterans who need money for their family.
That's me.
The New Day 100 VA loan lets you refinance your mortgage, consolidate your credit card debt, get cash, and lower your payments an average of $640 a month. We'll even pay for your VA home appraisal.
That's me.
The New Day 100 VA home loan. For veterans who want the security of cash in the bank. It can mean a lot.
That's me.
Call 1-855-764-0610.
Patrick woke up with a sore back, but he's got work to do. So he took a leave this morning. If he'd taken Tylenol, he'd be stopping for more pills right now. Only Aleve has the